Hello, my name is Yeva and welcome to my scrapbook process video. Today and hopefully every month, I'm challenging myself to dust off old craft magazines and get inspiration or even scrap lift some of the layouts. Do you have any of those magazines? Personally, I feel guilty getting rid of them, but I keep telling myself I'll use them as inspiration, but never do. So let's do this. I'm challenging myself and you. I've pulled out the month I'm in, so March magazine, but from 2009, 10 years ago, and I flipped through them already and found a few inspirations. The scrapbook magazine that I'm working with is Creating Keepsakes. Like I said, March 2009, and the page was by Kelly Perky, and I showed it to you earlier. And I've already printed out my photos. I have printed out a 5x7 and then about 6 photos that are 2 inches square. And this is a 4th of July trip that we had taken to a little town by the water, by the sea. And so that's what I wanted to kind of play with and just kind of put everything all on one page without having multiple pages. I love how she uses one big photo to kind of document the trip, and then have a few little accent photos that are memories or things. And so I'm going to just scrap lift her layout. And here I'm just playing around with the papers and trying to figure out which is the right red. And the products I'm using is some old Simple Stories and Echo Park papers that are 4th of July. The back paper that I used, a very dark blue, is from Photo Play. In Kelly's layout, she uses a corner punch to make the rounded corners. I haven't used that thing in a really long time, so I thought I'd pull it out, get my old supplies out, and use them. Here I'm trying to measure out how much space I need for my photos and how big of a piece to cut. I have to apologize for my light. I'm not sure why it keeps flickering like that. I'm kind of working on a setup here. Still new at this, still working on it. Give me any tips if you have any. I believe I'm just trimming down the blue, which I cut down to, 10 by 11, approximately. And in the inspiration that Kelly did, she has a white little border around hers. So I did the same thing, and I ended up cutting out the middle there, as you can see, because I like saving paper, even though I have a ton of it. And then I keep playing with the red because I'm not sure which one I really wanted to use that polka dot one, but I ended up opting out for this one. It's a bit distressed and doesn't compete so much with the little photos. And I also trimmed that down to about the same size as the photo, which is 5x7. Laying out my photos, figuring out how that goes. Also in Kelly's, she has some journaling to the right of the photos. There it is in that purple. And I really love that idea. And I do try to incorporate that and play with it. But at the end, I don't do it. It just felt like it was competing too much. And it would be just all squished. And I was okay with not having journaling on the side, even though I love that. Again, I'm saving some more of that paper because a lot of it's going to be covered up. And I'm okay with that. Just taking everything down, putting everything back on. Measuring twice. So I'm actually really curious to know, you guys, how many of you still have scrapbook magazines that you're just holding on to? I have a few from a couple years, and I've gotten rid of a lot of them actually that I just knew I wasn't going to use. So I'm kind of curious how many of you guys still have them, and if any of you guys are going to join me on this challenge. Give me a thumbs up or comment in my down below. I'm really curious, and let me know if you're going to follow along with this challenge. Here I'm still playing with that idea of putting journaling or some kind of strip on the side of the photo, but again, I decide not to. I just feel like the photos have a lot going on, and I don't overcrowd it. I really love how this layout came together. It came together really fast, other than me playing with the red paper. And then I love how it has so many photos. In the Kelly Perky one, she has, looks like she went to a coffee shop, and so she did a lot of like detail shots of like mugs or the coffee or stamps or anything like that. I love that. And again, that corner punch. Gotta use that, guys. Get those punches out. So here in Kelly's, she uses very minimal embellishments. And I really like that. I want to stay true to it, even though I kind of go a little overboard. But that's just my style and the way I scrapbook, and that's the whole fun. I found this, I think it's a 3x3 paper, and I was thinking about cutting it out into a circle, but find this hat with a mustache, and I felt that said more 4th of July. And so I'm going to put some embellishments up at the top, right, and I'm going to cut this one down, just like in Kelly's layout. She has a circular embellishment in the corner. Since there's so many squares going on, that would be great. And then I'm going to play around with what paper to kind of layer up on. And I was thinking about adding white to it, but I just stay with red. And it's a lot bigger than Kelly's, what's on Kelly's layout, but I'm all right with that. Again, this is my layout. It's my interpretation of it. And that's the challenge, you guys, is just use whatever inspiration you get from the magazines. There's so much stuff. I remember when I was reading them, I would like highlight or underline all the great tips that they have. And there's just so much good stuff in those magazines. I hope you guys go through them and read them. I use some really old thickers that I've been holding on to and keeping the title really, really simple, like just the date. As you can see, I didn't have much else. And it is 4th of July. I was going to write the TH in that dark blue, but opted out for a lighter color. That dark blue just seemed too much, like it made the focus go on that, the 4th. So I'm just going to continue sticking everything down, getting the embellishments on. I'm popping up that big circle with the mustache on. Just gives it some great dimension, and while everything else is really flat, it just really pops up a little bit. In Kelly's layout, she uses clear buttons. It's really hard to see in the photo that I'll post, but it reminded me of vellum and how I love vellum if you haven't watched my videos before. So I'm punching out one and then using a bigger punch to make kind of like a ring of vellum. And it gives this little touch and dimension, and I just love the way it looks. I love adding vellum to all my layouts. So I'm just playing around on how to lay it out, what other stickers to put. Actually, for this collection, I'm using the last little bits that I have left over. So I feel like I nailed it with this, you guys. I literally am using the last little bits. As you can see, a lot of these stickers are cut out from the full sticker sheet. It was like a 6x12 sticker sheet. And the last ones that were left, I didn't want to keep the whole thing, so I just cut out the ones. And I'm using a lot of like papers that I'm just trimming down. Like again, the hat and the mustache or the arrow at the top, it was just from a paper that I had trimmed down. So I'm feeling pretty good about using my scraps, you guys. Another challenge, yes. Putting some anchors because we were by the sea, and it ties in really nice with the colors. Putting some last little touches. These little dots are from the alphabet sticker, and I'm putting it at a diagonal just for an extra little texture and touch. So this pretty much completes my layout. I do end up adding in a little star there at the bottom. I find another one, but I really hope you guys take on this challenge of dusting off those old magazines, looking through them, finding an inspiration, finding a layout you really want to use, and let's use up the products we have all stored up. I really hope you guys take on this challenge. Please comment if you guys are going to do it with me, and I will see you guys next month with another challenge from the next magazine. See you then.